Welcome back to another edition of the Red Zone podcast. I'm your host, Emmanuel Pointe-de-Jure, and today is the final day of our free agency special, and we are ending it off with the Grey Cup champion Montreal Alouettes, who wanted to re-sign a lot of their own guys back to the squad, wanted to keep that continuity going into next year, going to 2024, and trying to repeat. But let's get to their re-signings, and we start with two big linebackers in Darnell Sankey and Tyrice Beverette. They were both very good last year, and now you keep that linebacker position. You have defensive lineman Shawn, who just keeps getting better with age, keeps getting to the quarterback. Nobody picked him up there at the beginning of the year, and Montreal took a chance, and that chance, it paid off because they were tremendous near the end of last year and why they won the Grey Cup. And then two guys on the offensive side of the ball in Jeshron Antwi and Walter Fletcher. So kind of getting that running back core back together after William Stanback left to BC. Let's get to their additions now. You have defensive lineman Isaac Adiemi-Berglund and Derek Wigan, both from the Stampeders. Stamps did not re-sign those guys. Montreal picked them up for two losses that we'll get to on their defensive line later. But you bring in a young guy who still has a lot of potential in Berglund, and then you get a veteran, a solid veteran at that, in Derek Wigan, who always comes up with a sack here and there throughout the year. On the offensive end, you have wide receiver Tevin Jones and running back Shawn Thomas Erlington, just to add more running back depth. Now, let's get to their losses. Wide receiver Austin Mack, he went down to the NFL and signed with the Atlanta Falcons. He's going to be a big loss, especially to Cody Fajardo. Cody Fajardo threw to him a lot last year, was one of his favorite targets, and now he's going to lose him. And Mack went down to the NFL, I think, before he came to the CFL. Didn't make it down there, came back up, signed with Montreal, had a great year, and now is going back down. So great for him. Hopefully he can stay down there in the NFL with Atlanta. You have running back William Stanback, who we talked about, got released and then went to BC. And then two defensive linemen, as I mentioned earlier, Lwal Uguak and Almano Sewell. Sewell got released. Uguak went down to Tampa Bay and joined them. But overall, it was a pretty good free agency by the Montreal Alouettes. You lost some guys, but you were able to, fix that replacement a little bit. Like wide receiver Austin Mack, you're not going to replace that production, but you got Tevin Jones, who's going to add to that receiver depth there with Phil Pott and Keon Julian Grant already there. That can add to it. And then those two defensive linemen, Isaac Adiemi-Berglund and Derek Wigan, they're no scrubs. They can get to the quarterback. One is young, one is a veteran. So I think that is very good for them. And now they'll look to go into 2024 and try to repeat and become back-to-back Grey Cup champions. But Montreal fans, let me know what you think in the comments below. I'm pretty sure you were good with this free agency. I mean, you re-signed most of your defense. And on the offensive side of the ball, we're going to see how the replacements do at running back and also at receiver. But that'll do it. We'll see you next time on the Red Zone podcast. But until then, peace.